So Justin Trudeau and the Liberals have gone full dictator, and this time it's with immigration. Minister of Immigration Mark Miller has said that he's going to override the provinces, he's going to send immigrants and migrants and asylum seekers wherever he pleases, and he'll even open up hotels in provinces just to keep these guys accommodated. Before we get to Mark Miller, let's listen to Trudeau first. He just spoke today in Montreal and was getting roasted by the reporter about the upcoming by-elections in the area and how it was a Liberal stronghold, but not so much anymore. He just goes on full attack, attacking Pierre Poilievre, blaming everybody else, but let's see the clip for ourselves.
Good morning, Matt Gilmore, CTV News. I just want to ask you about the by-election that's happening on Monday in LaSalle and Verdun. Another Liberal stronghold that appears to be up for grabs. You're here in Montreal today doing some local radio interviews later, something you haven't typically done as Prime Minister. How worried are you about this seat, and what does it say about the Liberal Party that a seat like this is potentially up for grabs?
Well, let me just correct you on one thing. I spend a lot of time talking to local media, local journalists, local radio right across the country. Maybe CTV doesn't notice, but I know Canadians do, because staying connected with people on the ground is really, really important. And I'm looking forward to going to see some old friends at CJAD. This by-election is really going to be an important moment of choice for Canadians and indeed for Montrealers. As a Montrealer, I know how important it is to make progressive choices for the future, to make choices that invest in our communities, investments like we're making here in St. Anne de Bellevue, but investments that also support families, whether it's the 650,000 seniors that we've helped go to get dental care over the past number of months because of the federal program, whether it's more spaces in childcare that we've been working on with Premier Legault, whether it's investing in a school food program, and hopefully we're going to be able to sign on quickly with Quebec because money is on the table to send more support to the organizations delivering school foods across Quebec. These are things concretely that Montrealers care about. And one of the things that Montrealers care about the most is protecting the environment, is fighting climate change. And we all know, don't have to debate about it anymore, Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives don't care about fighting climate change. But I'm going to say something that might surprise you a little bit. I do believe that Jagmeet Singh and the NDP actually do care about the environment. It's just increasingly obvious that they have no idea what to do to fight against climate change. In the 2021 election, they had no serious environmental plan. And over the past years of our excellent agreement that delivered concretely for people on progressive priorities and made sure that Parliament was working for Canadians, they had no ideas on the environment. And one of the first things they do after walking away from that agreement to deliver progressive things for Canadians is walk away from any plan to fight climate change. We put a world-leading price on pollution across this country that does two things. It drops emissions and it puts more money back in the pockets of the middle class and people working hard to join it. 8 out of 10 Canadians in regions across the country that have the federal price on pollution get more money with the Canada carbon rebate. And yet Jagmeet Singh and the NDP are caving to the political pressures from Pierre Poilievre and from the Conservatives. That's just not on, and that's not what Montrealers expect and deserve. So I know there's a lot of people really disappointed with the NDP playing simple politics, walking away from progressive values, walking away from the fight against climate change, and totally caving to the political pressure from Pierre Poilievre. That's not what people in Verdun want. That's not what Canadians who are progressive, focused on the future, actually want. And I can't wait for the conversations we're having in Verdun, in LaSalle, in Emard this weekend, but also can't wait to welcome Laura Palestini to Ottawa as of Monday.
But you're not on.
I just want to understand, I mean, you're saying you require their consent, but you're also saying that you're willing to muscle up and kind of...
Well, look, we've never said anything of the sort. Well, look, right now we could open up a hotel in any particular province and ship people there. That's an option. We have been moving people around to relieve pressure from Ontario and Quebec. It's not a financially viable model. It's not an effective model. but it's one that that needs some reform in order to make sure the provinces are stepping up, looking at what their labour force needs are, what the capacity is to help some of these folks as they wait the determination of their protected person status, and it's one where we actually need coordination with provinces. Most of the provinces are at the table talking to us about what these models would be. It's far from being complete, but again, there's only so far the federal government can actually be nice and say, please, please, we also have levers that we need to pull and push, and provinces do get the benefit from immigration. So it's something that we need to deal with in a responsible fashion, and we expect every single province to be responsible.
So I just want to be clear, the number that he put forward in that meeting, is that higher or lower than what Ottawa voted?
I don't know where the number came from. I suspect it's a product of the population share that New Brunswick represents within Canada's total population, divided or spread out by the number of asylum seekers, generally on a trailing basis of ones that have come in over the last year. Some people, when they come into Canada, have a set idea of where they will establish. They have perhaps some support from community members. Some don't. And so part of the nuance in here has been looking at the asylum seekers that are the most in need. You've seen that highly covered by some of the challenges we have faced, particularly with the City of Toronto. But again, doing this in a responsible way for asylum seekers while they await their due process and a determination as to whether they're protected persons is something that requires provinces and territories to step up. We expect that to be the case, and we're looking at a model that does have sort of a carrot and stick incentive to it. And it's something that, again, it's highly irresponsible to go out and say something that actually isn't true. And were provinces to step up, there would be financial compensation.
What's the stick?
Well, it depends, Catherine, on what provinces want to do things and which ones don't. It's no surprise that provinces control right now 100,000 permanent residents in the provincial nominee program. That could be something we could take another look at were they not to accept asylum seekers. We are looking at a number of other incentives that would push provinces that are recalcitrant, but it's not something I'm going to negotiate publicly or even air out publicly. We have this working group. It's a new working group since the beginning of the summer. It's largely been cooperative. There are some provinces that are not participating, but we would expect full cooperation from all provinces.